Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to FBTV. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has liked and subscribed and tuned into the live streams. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when I'm next live or drop any videos or any content or anything like that. Don't forget to drop a like on this video as well if you like what we are about to do. Something different. I'm just going to walk through how I create my YouTube thumbnails. And this can be anyone. This can be for anyone who is unsure of how to use Photoshop and create a little thumbnail. Pretty simple, pretty easy. It's nothing crazy. I'm not using the most up-to-date Photoshop. This is the 2020 version. Yeah, I'm just going to walk through the basics of just how to use simple bits and bobs. As you can see here, this is just me coming off doing the Leeds United Stoke stream. So obviously I've just got a couple of pictures off Google. I've had to actually create the PNGs myself, which I can show you how to do that as well. It's not too much of a problem. Doesn't take long at all. So let's start from scratch. So go to File, New up here, and I've already created a template here which I call a YouTube thumbnail, which is, you can see, it's actually 1280 by 720, and I believe that is correct. So if you just want to copy these settings that I have, the resolution 72, white background, of course, start from fresh and hit create, and that will pull up a blank canvas for you there. And down here we have the background, which is going to be important for when you create your PNG of your players, but we'll get onto that later on. We'll just make this really quick, really super quick. I'll use some templates of what I've already used. So let's have a look. Let's pull up the files. So in here I have pretty much everything organized. So I have some stadiums that I use as my backgrounds. Really just ideas that you can have. So City Stadium, because I believe we have Manchester City versus Aston Villa tomorrow, and this is the thumbnail that we are creating for. So again, nothing crazy, doesn't have to be anything overly fancy. So you drop it in there, make it fit your canvas, and if you just click anywhere around here, that brings that off. Now here's a little trick that you want to remember always. You're always going to use this. So if you hold Control and T, that brings this box back up to whereby you can move that picture around. Now obviously we don't want to move that around, so another trick that you're going to have to remember is just Control Z, and that just undoes that movement. If you can't remember, it's Control Z. If we just move it here, if you go up to the top here, go to edit and click undo, it will undo that move. So basics. So we've got the city ground in there, looks decent to begin with. A little trick that I use is if you right click on your city stadium down here, right click, go to blending options. I'm actually going to show you all this. So blending options is here. That was on my other screen. I've got a couple of screens here. I do use a color overlay, right? White color overlay is what I use. Click that as okay. And what we're going to do is just bring the opacity down here. It creates a nice little, there, can you see? That's the normal. And it just kind of fades it out a little bit. Now I can't remember if that's the exact figure that I use, but That's something that I use, right? And you've got these little eyes down here that if you click that, it disappears. And if you want to take that effect off, you can just click the little eye next to the effects down there. Obviously, we want to keep that on there. So that's the first bit. So we've got a nice little backdrop inside the stadium. Couldn't be any better, could it? Really? Let's have a look. So what we're going to do now is we will go and look for some players. We will go and look for some players. So I already have a couple of players saved, but I'm going to use some different ones. So let's maybe say Kevin, I don't even know how to spell Kevin De Bruyne, but there we go. There we go. Kevin De Bruyne. Have we got any good ones? Some really good ones that stand out. Yeah, he's not much of a character, is he? Not much of a character. We haven't got really any celebrations. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. That might be one that we can use as a PNG that we use. But for now, let's just grab this one. This is the website that I use. I have it saved. Download transparent PNG. Just right click on that. Save image as Kevin. I'm going to go drop that in my players folder. Like I say, everything's organized in here. Everything's organized. It's better that way. So if you come back down here, back to your Photoshop, it's very simple to get these players in here. What we're going to do is go to our players folder, locate Kevin, drag and drop, boom, easy. And again, we have this box here, move it around anywhere we want. We want to keep that player nice and big. We want that to stand out. We really do want that to stand out. And then we're just going to click off Kevin De Bruyne, just leave him there. We can sort that out later. We can really kind of put that where we want later on. So, Villa player now. Let's have a look. Let's go back in here. And let's just go and get Marcus Rashford. We already have a Ollie Watkins. We already have an Ollie Watkins. We'll just grab this Marcus Rashford. Save that as Rashford. Nice and easy. Drop it in there. Same again. We're going to come back into the Photoshop. Get your file back up. Boom. Locate that Rashford. Drop him in there. We're going to have to make that a bit bigger, obviously. And try and keep the proportion the same. We'll try and keep that the same. So I don't think that looks too bad, to be fair. We might just have to Control and T on Kevin De Bruyne and make him a bit bigger. So that's there. Control T on Rashford and just drag that down a tiny little bit. Yeah. That looks pretty good. So I think we'll end up using those two. That looks really good to me. Simple as straightforward as that. So, got your two players, got your background. Badges next. Pretty simple. Badges. So let's go over to the player tab. Go back into streaming. Go back to badges. We already have the badges sorted out. I have them downloaded already from previous things that we've been doing. So I did use this badge last time. Here, but I think I'm going to go back to this city badge. So again, drag, drop that in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to come up to this top here, this angle. And what I do is I put in -25. And that just gives us a little bit of a rotation there. Now we don't need the badge that big, but we are going to have it behind the player. Now, if you wanted the badge in front of the player, what you'd need to do is come down to here, this city badge here, and just drag it up above Kevin. And that then puts it in front. But we want to keep Kevin in front of the badge. And we're just going to do the same with the Villa badge and Marcus Rashford. So we're going to drop this in here. Again, just highlight that. And then we're just going to keep this as 25, not minus 25 this time. And we're just going to drag this over here. Badge is nice and big, so we can see that. We don't need to see the full badge. We all know what the Villa badge looks like. And I'm just going to move Kevin up here. Beautiful. Excellent. Stands out. Pops nicely. Lovely. Okay. So very simple. What I am going to do is we are going to create a text. It's just going to say watch along. So we're going to go locate our text box. So here we have a text tool here. All right. So we're just going to make a big text box here. Why it's going to be big is because there's going to be loads of writing in here for some reason. I'm not sure why. And we're just going to type in there, watch along. Yep. Make this a bit smaller now. We don't need it that big. So we're just going to highlight that. And we're going to come down here and change the fonts. Yeah, just going to change the fonts. Let's have a look, see what we've got. I've got this one here, which I'm not too much of a fan of. I'm not sure what font we've been using previously. Let's just have a look. Open recent. Let's go and open the Leeds one that we've just done. Where is that? Leeds and Stoke. We might have to go in and open it. Let's have a look. Alright, we'll go and find the Leeds one that we've been doing. Wolves versus Leeds. Stream watch along. Leeds United Stoke. So let's open that. And we'll go and find out exactly the font that we've been using. So watch along. I'm just going to move it out of the way because it is hard to kind of double click it if we don't move it out of the way. So just move it out of the way there. Just double click it. So Akira expanded is the one that we've been using. Lovely. Excellent. So let's go back to our Villa watch along. Click that and we'll go locate Akira expanded. Lovely. Right, so we're just going to make that a bit bigger as well. 72 looks fine as it is at the minute. So again, we're just going to click on there, Control T, and we're just going to move this down to the bottom and centralize it. That purple line means it's central. And again, you can come in here and put some effects on there, blending options. You can do a color overlay. You could do a gradient overlay. You could change the colors. All sorts of things you can do here. But for now, we'll just put a nice little color overlay there. Something that we can see, I guess. That looks more grey than anything, doesn't it? That's because the opacity is down. So we'll make that 100%. And that is white. Now we can put a stroke over there. So we can change that. If you can see how that looks. You can also change the size of that, you know, and make it stand out, make it pop a little bit more. For the purpose of this video, let's just make it black, and we'll keep it at 2. so it kind of stands out. But you get the gist of what you can do. You can also have a little drop shadow on there, which we might leave on there. So they're the sorts of things you can do with your blending options. Again, you can come down to this eye here and you can take all that off. There we go. Beautiful. Players, we're telling the audience on YouTube that we're just doing a watch along here. So now you've still got this text box here, as you can see. If you look at Kevin De Bruyne's face, my mouse cursor is still the text box. So you need to come to the top left here and just click back on your regular tool there to get that off, if you're wondering how to stop that from happening. Right, next thing, what else do I do to my thumbnails? One thing I have been doing is creating a little bit of an effect around the edges, and I'll show you how to do that, but I'm not sure if I'm going to carry on doing this, but we'll have a look and I'll show you how to do it. Now, before I do that, what I'm going to do is get the Manchester City color palette. So let's just go on here, type in Manchester City color palette, and then if you just come in here, you can see here. So we'll go for the sky blue, and if we just copy and paste that, if we come down to here, this bottom left, if we change this already, we just Control V, paste that in there, and we'll change that. Okay, and it changes it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come down to the bottom right. You're going to click this plus sign, and that is going to create us a layer, because we're going to create something on solely this layer alone. And we're going to use the brush tool. We are going to use the brush tool. I already have this set up, this brush tool. Where is it? So we're going to click this, and you can change the size of it. So what we're going to do, it's going to be in blue. If you just come around and just click, 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 it creates a nice little blue tint around the edges here. All I'm doing is just clicking, nice little blue tint. Might want to put a bit more on, it's up to you. You could put as much on as you want, but I feel like that's enough, you know. We'll do a little bit more. Sky blue, lovely, excellent. And I'm gonna do something else as well that I haven't been doing for my thumbnails, but I don't know, sometimes I think that looks a little bit tacky, but for now we'll leave it. But I've shown you how to do a little brush tool. So what I'm gonna do is just come down to here, double click in there, and I'll rename this brush tool so I know exactly what it is. Now obviously if you take that off, you can see that's without and that's with. Personal preference, entirely up to you. I think it looks okay. I did the Champions League thumbnail, and it really made it pop. It was nice. It was really nice. But for the rest of them, the Man United one, it looked kind of tacky. But we'll figure that out. So brush tool, lovely. We've got that there. I'm gonna go have a look for something that I'm going to try and use. Now I believe it is in Photoshop stuff in here somewhere. I'm gonna have a quick look for it, but if I can't find it, we might have to move on. I don't think it's in there. Not in that one. Custom Lambo, that was for My set of courses stuff. It may be in here. Not in here. Not in files. Streaming. Stream backdrops. Stream backdrops. YouTube banner. Not there. Thumbnails. The reason why I can't find it is because I moved the stuff out of the folders. Wallpaper, I don't believe it's in there. Did want to show this effect off, but it's not going to happen, is it? Right, okay. Let's go back into here. This is, again, personal preference. You can add this in if you wish. You can add, I've got some Premier League badges that you can add in and things. Stadium, stream backdrops. So you can add in the Premier League logo if you so please. I mean, I don't think we're going to add that in on this one. We could do. We could just leave it there. We could just leave it there. That looks fine. That looks fine. We haven't been doing that because I feel like it's a bit too much on the page. But yeah, there we go. So we've got the brush tool. We've got the players. We've got the badge, and that's pretty much all that we need, to be fair. I did have a live badge, but again, all that stuff would need locating. I'm not sure where it's all gone because I've moved it all. Thiago's Instagram. Okay, lovely. So live Premier League watch along. We've got all of that good stuff there. Since I cannot find that live badge, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to nick it from here. So down here, if you press Control and C, and then we can press Control and V and just drop that in there. And then we're just going to move it to the top. Again, personal preference if you want that sort of thing in there. You don't need it too large at all. You do not need it too large at all. And now, since I cannot find the sun rays that I was after, what we'll do, we'll try and locate some. So if I go to Photoshop and I use this website here, so if we just put in sun ray, I did have a really good one. Now let's put in light effect. No, none of these do we want. I'm gonna try and have to look for that. Okay, so there we go. Pretty much have our thumbnail there and done. Nothing crazy, nothing over exaggerated. And also, what I will show you now, we're a good 25 minutes into this, so I'm just going to show you how to crop your own photos. Right, so if we go back up here to file new, we could just use this YouTube one. That's absolutely fine. what we'll have to do is just go back onto here, onto Google. Let's think. Let's just pick a player. Doesn't matter. Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho Gaucho, just because he is my favorite player. So let's have a little look. And I do want a certain picture here because this one, if possible. Excellent. If we can save that image as a JPEG. Right, lovely. Players. Save that in there. Ronnie. Excellent. So, you've got your player. Let's go back and take the brush tool off. Let's come back into the players folder. Badges, streaming, player. Down here we have Ronnie. In fact, sorry, let me pull this over here. So what you're going to have to actually do, this is important. Do not drag and drop this onto the background here. You actually need to drop it onto the background down here. That is important. That is an important step. 110% it is. Now, trick. If you hold Alt and use your scroll wheel, that does scroll in a little bit. So you will need to do that just to get your lines nice and close and keep that nice and tight. Right, okay. 2 ways to do it. You can do it the easy way, which is as that's just demonstrated. We can click on here and just drag and drop, and that will pretty much get the outline of Ronaldinho, which it has. Yeah, and that's the one that we're going to use for now, just for the ease of this video. But I am going to show you another way. There is another way, because you are going to need to use the other way, possibly for like maybe personal photos or something like that. So we're just going to undo object selection up here. Yep. And the one that I do use is this one here. And let me see if we can highlight it. So it's the polygonal lasso tool. That's the one that was selected on. If you go on here and you hold down your left mouse button, you can pick different ones, a magnetic one, polygonal, or just a lasso tool. We're going to use the polygonal lasso tool, right? And again, just for the purpose of this video, I'm going to go around here really quickly, like super quick, and just show you, like really, really quickly. This is not going to be any level of detail, guys. This is just to show you guys how this works. So I'm clicking every time. I'm clicking. There we go. Click, click, click. This is really rough. It's much more detailed than this usually. And then the last one, watch down here. There's going to be a circle when I join this up. Yeah, when you see that circle, that means it's joined up. When on this last click, obviously, there, and it's all joined up on the outline of Ronaldinho. Yeah, there, lovely. And you can see that with those little lines there on the outside. Now, what you're going to need to do, you're going to need to cut these bits out in the middle here. How you're going to do that is hold down Alt, and you're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to click the inside of here really quick, just for the purpose of this video. Again, join that up. Yep. We're going to do the same for this bit here. Hold down, and it turns to a minus. Can you see that? Hold down, turns to a minus. There we go. Again, do this super, super quick, just for the purpose of this video, and show you how to do this. This is nothing crazy. This is no detail. This is going to look like a PS2 Ronaldinho. And there, we're just going to link this up. Lovely, excellent. So we've got the outline. And we've taken out the 2 bits in the middle. Of course, that's why I wanted that sort of a picture, so I could show you how to do the outline and the insides there. Now, why that was important to put that on the background down here is because we're going to come down to the bottom, and we're going to click this button here, which is we're going to add a layer mask. And what that's going to do is take away the background, which is exactly what you want. And then obviously you are ready to export. Let's go to File, Export Quick PNG really quickly. And then we can drop it in there, Ronnie, and we'll call it Ronnie number 2. We don't want to save over it because I'm going to show you the difference. I'm going to show you the difference between the two, between that normal one and the PNG. I'm going to pull this over here. So that's the normal one. That is the normal one, and then the PNG is here without the background, as you can see there. Yeah. Excellent. That easy. That easy. And there I have myself a Ronaldinho I can use. But we'll tidy it up, obviously. We will tidy that up, of course. So let's get back to our thumbnail, which is there pretty much, you know. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have one more look. I'm gonna have one more look for that effect that I had. ACC livery stuff, there it is. So obviously if anyone plays a set of Corsa Competizione, you'll know what you're looking at here. But yes, I had it in here. Right, okay. So this is another trick I can show you guys. So we're just going to use a nice little lighting effect here. Just going to use a nice little lighting effect. So we're going to drag and drop this onto here. And now, I have not done this in a while, so I need to remember how to do this. We're just going to position this in the corner here. And click off of it. Come back down to here. Light ray. So if we go down to here, blending options again. So blend mode. If we come down to here, and I forget which one it is. I don't think it's overlay. I cannot remember. Overlay, soft light. I do forget which one it is. It's been a while since I've used this. It doesn't seem like any of these. Screen, that's the one. That is the one, people. You want to use screen. Yeah. And that just creates a little sunray effect there. You can make that a little bit bigger if you want. You know, you can really brighten that up in the corner. And it just creates the effect of a bit of sun there. I mean, what we could do, we could just shift that over to the left hand, to the right hand side, or whatever. But you know, just a little effect there that you can use. Just a little trick. I probably won't use it. I probably will not be using stuff like that for my thumbnails, but it's an option. It is an option for you guys. Yep. So you just come down again, down to blending options. Blending options on the side here, and screen. That is what you want. We'll just leave that there. There we go. There you go. And so with that, I've obviously created my thumbnail for tomorrow. For tomorrow's game. That's sorted. So we're just going to come down to here. File. Save as. Save on your computer. And I'll just click on here. Watch along. And we'll rename that. to City Villa. I do try and save all these, but I actually don't need to. I actually do not need to. And then what we're going to do, that's not everything. That's not that yet. So that's gone into my folder where I save my Photoshop files. Not the picture, the file. So I can reopen it in Photoshop and edit it if I need. Now, what we do, again, export as PNG. And then you'll notice that I have a folder called YouTube Thumbnails. That's where that will go, in here. And if we come down to here and we have a look at that, we can have a look at that again. That will be somewhere in here. I've done a few thumbnails now since starting streaming, and that is located there. So this was the other one that we did the other day, for the City Crystal Palace game. Switch things up a bit now. I do have the badge behind the player. That Crystal Palace one worked out pretty okay because you can see a lot of the player behind the badge, but a lot of these badges block out the player. So we have switched that up, and that's how that's going to look. That is how that is going to look, guys. That is how that is going to look. And I think I've covered pretty much everything for you guys. 36-minute video. 36 minutes that's been. But we've covered quick thumbnail. I've showed you how to crop out a picture also. And then I'll do a separate video on showing you how to go live and upload that thumbnail and schedule a stream and all that good stuff. All right, so we have come to the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, if you found it helpful, please like the video for me, please. That does help. Don't forget to subscribe as well for more content. We're going to be doing a lot of streams, a lot of FIFA content. I don't know what else we've got planned, but we've got some things in the pipeline. Don't forget to hit the bell notification as well to let you know when I've dropped any new content or I've gone live or anything like that. So yes, we'll catch you on your next one, on the next one, people. Peace.